Don't try to stop it. Don't try to stop it. Don't try to stop it.
Every coach started at the beginning of the year talking about the ACC tournament, nothing else. It was so important to win the tournament, and then when you did, you had a deep sigh of relief and said, well, let's go to the NCAA tournament like a bowl game, have fun, relax. It's anything more is gravy. The hardest thing in the world was to win a regular season championship and then have to prove it again in the tournament.
It ranks in our part of the country with the Masters tournament and the other big sporting events that are known worldwide, and the ACC tournament is known worldwide. I've traveled the world around, and everybody asks me about that tournament in Chinese, German, and a lot of other different languages, so it's a real thrill for our players and myself.
I've always thought as a player and as a coach when I was at Army that the ACC tournament was one of the events, basketball events in the United States. I mean, I always saw the highlight films of the tournament. It was like an unbelievable, it was like the Emmys, the grand event.
It's a happening. You know, 12 o'clock noon on a Friday afternoon. It's sold out. It's a special event to the people in the ACC areas, and we just hope that we can put on a great show for them.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jack Corrigan. Welcome to the ACC Sports Center and the 1984 ACC Basketball Tournament. This is the 30th edition of this unique basketball madness, and the tournament here in Greensboro this year promises to be just as magical as the 30 that have preceded it. This is a big day for us. It is quarterfinal day. 4 games on tap. We'll be with you right from the opening tip of game 1 in a few moments down to the final buzzer, about 11 hours from now this evening. A lot of people are going to be bringing you all the action of games 1 through 4 today. Let's take an opportunity to meet them right now. Let's head down to the floor and Fred White.
All right, today in round 1, game 1, it's the #1 seed, the North Carolina Tar Heels, against 8-seeded Clemson. North Carolina led by this outstanding trio, Michael Jordan, Sam Perkins, and Matt Doherty. Michael Jordan, Mr. Excitement, averaging 20 points a game, the fire in the Tar Heel lineup. And he is complemented by the icy calm of Sam Perkins, the 6'10 senior, Mr. Consistency, averaging 18 points and 9 rebounds a contest for Dean Smith's Tar Heels. And they, in turn, are complemented by the steady play of senior forward Matt Doherty. He's averaging 9 points, 4 rebounds a game, and leads the Tar Heels in assists with 108 on the year. That trio has led North Carolina to a 26-1 mark this season and taken them through the ACC regular season unbeaten. Clemson led by Murray Jarman, Anthony Jenkins, and Vince Hamilton, all healthy, all together again. Jarman at 6'6", the shortest center in the ACC, averaging 15 points and 6 rebounds a ball game. Anthony Jenkins, a deadly outside shooter, also has a strong inside game. He averages 10 points and 4 rebounds a game. And they get tremendous help from the outside from 6'4" junior guard Vincent Hamilton. Hamilton, back from a broken foot, averages 14 points, 6 rebounds a game. He's a strong rebounder at the guard position, and he has picked up 75 assists to help Bill Foster's ball club this year. The 1984 ACC Basketball Tournament is a presentation of Raycom Sports and Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions.
This is ACC Basketball with Clemson, Duke, Georgia Tech, Maryland, North Carolina State, Virginia, and Wake Forest. This live coverage is brought to you by Natural Light, by the Jefferson.
And welcome back to the floor. We're getting closer to game time here. And Billy, let me ask you a quick question about Clemson. They've lost 10 straight to North Carolina. Confidence being such a big part of sports. What's Bill Foster have to do to this team today to get them psychologically ready to play?
I think it helps the fact, Fred, that they gave North Carolina a good ball game down at Clemson. One of the things that you've got to be prepared for in a game like this is really North Carolina is a highly favored ball club. And Clemson, the longer they can stay in the ball game, the better chance they have. That may seem so obvious, but a game like this could be over very quickly if they're not on top of their game early.
And a word about Carolina's depth. Brad Doherty's not going to start at center today. Kenny Smith won't be at the point, but they seem to keep getting it done anyway.
Yeah, they've got an awful lot of talent, as everybody knows. I think Doherty and Smith can both play if necessary, and Dean Smith may hold them out for a while.
North Carolina knows they have an NCAA bid wrapped up no matter what. Clemson knows they have to win this tournament to get in. Maybe if they could just win a game in NIT bid.
I believe the NIT bid is a possibility, considering the value of the competition they've had to go up against this year. They'd have to be impressive today, though. By that, I mean stay in the ball game as long as possible, even if they didn't come out with a win.
Again, we have the #1 seed in this tournament, North Carolina, against #8 Clemson Tigers, and we're just about set to play basketball. Let's meet the starting lineups. Here's Larry Dunlap.
Good afternoon and welcome to the city of Greensboro and the Greensboro Coliseum. Here now the starting lineups for our first game. For North Carolina, at forward, a 6'8 senior from East Meadow, New York, number 44, Matt Doherty. For Clemson, at forward, a 6'8 junior from Union, South Carolina, number 23, Raymond Jones. For North Carolina, at forward, a 6'9 senior from Latham, New York, number 41, Sam Perkins. For Clemson, at forward, at 6'7 sophomore from Spartanburg, South Carolina, number 42, Anthony Jenkins. For North Carolina, at center, a 6'10 freshman from Kohler, Wisconsin, number 24, Joe Wolf. For Clemson, at center, a 6'6 senior from Delray Beach, Florida, number 25, Murray Jarman. For North Carolina, at guard, a 6'2.5 freshman from Queens, New York, number 30, Kenny Smith. For Clemson, at guard, a 6'2 sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 11, Warren Wallace. For North Carolina, at guard, a 6'6 junior from Wilmington, North Carolina, number 23, Michael Jordan. And for Clemson, at guard, a 6'4 junior from Rutherfordton, North Carolina, number 15, Vince Hamilton. Dean Smith coaches the Tar Heels. Bill Foster, the coach of the Tigers.
Okay. You have now met the starting lineups for this afternoon's game. There's the Clemson bench. We're just about set to go, and we'll be back with the tip-off and the first game of the afternoon right after you watch this. The 84 ACC tournament is underway. 3 days of excitement to go here in the Greensboro Coliseum. Sam Perkins.
Straight man-to-man by Clemson.
Jordan to Perkins, and the jumper is down, and North Carolina's on top, 2-0.
And Fred, I don't want to over-dramatize this particular ball game, but it's really important. Remember what happened the last time these two teams played in this gym this year. It's important for Clemson to get something on the board early in this game and not get in a drought.
Raymond Jones. Solid defense again, as always, being played by North Carolina, but Warren Wallace gets an open shot. He comes up short. Perkins clears the rebound. Lenny Wirtz, John Fogerty, and Tom Cream are the officials for this game. Matt Doherty from the outside. Joe Wolf with an offensive rebound, and Kenny Smith will try the jumper short.
Pulled up short. There's the shot. Both by Smith and Doherty were not really aggressive shots that were put up there.
Murray Jarman was the man with the rebound. Warren Wallace hounded outside by Michael Jordan.
Let's see if they can get the ball to Jarman with Wolf on it. That'd probably be the best matchup that they've got.
Jarman tried to bounce it inside. Wolf took it away. Michael Jordan floating on the wing. Good pass. And Perkins is fouled by Jenkins.
That was a great pass by Michael Jordan. You know, if you're back there on defense and you see Jordan coming, obviously he's occupying all of your attention, and then he gives that good sleight-of-hand move. Excellent pass.
Well, he got rid of the pass in a hurry, too.
Right off the dribble. A lot of people talking about those two fellas right in the foul line area there, Jordan and Perkins. It's been a long, long time in college basketball before you had two legitimate consensus first-team All-Americans playing so well. I mean, this has not been a publicity gimmick. They have really put out and had a great year.
Two franchises on the same team.
Dean Smith going to that bench early, and Sam Perkins just got a little shot there. He's going to come in with Dave Popson in a hurry.
Sam Perkins was just named the third consecutive time to the Basketball Writers All-American team, and Michael Jordan was named the Player of the Year by the Basketball Writers.
When you look at Sam's statistics this year in every category, tops on the mark in the foul shooting, rebounding, field goal shooting percentage, and scoring, he's up in the top 5 in every category. It looks like he's going to the dressing room.
Sam Perkins is going directly to the dressing room. Dave Popson has replaced him. And they never even hesitated. He was headed for the bench, and Popson it was who turned him around and said, no, go to the dressing room. So now, North Carolina without two starters.
Popson jump out on Jones. Great play. Jordan's look out. First
defense forces the error. It's 6-0 North Carolina.
And they're ready for another trap. And although Popson hasn't played a lot of ball this year, just watching his physical abilities, I think he's going to be a great player at Chapel Hill. Another steal.
Warren Wallace to Murray Jarman. The shot is good. You know, Warren Wallace was a man they stole the ball from. He'd only turned it over 14 times in 245 minutes coming into this game, so he's done a pretty good job of taking care of it.
Well, you remember his big game, Fred, was right here on this court. He came in as a sub that night. Nothing was going right for Clemson, and although they never win the game, he had a good, solid performance himself.
I understand Sam Perkins did not go to the dressing room because of an injury, because of an equipment problem. We're going to change some equipment. He'll be back out.
There's Wolf setting the screen on the baseline, getting called for the block.
First foul on Joe Wolf. First foul called in the basketball game. 17:40 left in our first half. It is 6-2. North Carolina. Michael Jordan takes a seat on the Tar Heel bench.
How about a team ranked #1 in the nation right now on the court? The game only 3 minutes old. They've got 3 freshmen.
Amazing. Wallace against pressure. He's trapped. Hale came up to help Kenny Smith.
Jenkins, a good jump shooter. They want to have him at the end of that pass to get the jumper when they're in a trap.
Boy, they keep incredible pressure on you. This is the first time Vincent Hamilton's touched the ball for Clemson. Anthony Jenkins. Let's try to find a shot against this defense.
Fine defense.
A whistle blowing on the far side. A foul called against Popson.
Okay, that's away from the ball call. Bill Foster probably not quite sure of the call either.
Billy, it may not be so much what Carolina does to you on one trip down the court, but the cumulative effect of that pressure on you all the time when you're trying to handle the ball really has to take its toll.
Without question, here's Perkins back. And as soon as he got to the bench, he didn't get a chance to sit down. Dean Smith whistled him right back in there.
Sam Perkins has changed some equipment. He's back on court. 6-2 North Carolina. 17:15 left in first half action here.
Murray Jarman signaling he might want the lob. There it is. They got a great pass. That was a hand signal over to Hamilton while the referee was signifying is everybody ready. Good hand coordination.
That is not an easy pass to throw, and it was a great pass from out of bounds. Murray Jarman has 4 at 6-4 North Carolina. Kenny Smith.
When you think the game hasn't improved, imagine that play 10 years ago, huh? 10 years ago, today was the Maryland-North Carolina State game. They call the all-timer in the ACC.
Matt Doherty hitting a shot. First 2 points for Matt Doherty. Well, I remember you telling me once you saw an NBA highlights film from the 50s when nobody jumped above the rim.
That's right. All the rebounds are captured. Guys standing flat-footed. Another good backdoor cut.
This is Raymond Jones. Oh, he missed the shot inside, and Wolf pulls the rebound down. North Carolina with a 4-point lead.
Jones should have had that one. He was right in position to score.
Smith to Sam Perkins. Far side to Hale. Now Matt Doherty. Penetration.
Billy Clemson giving up that penetration awfully easy, and if you continually do that against North Carolina, they're going to get some easy baskets.
Sam Perkins was looking for the lob. They couldn't get it, but now he does.
Good block.
Oh, and partially blocked. Jones had a hand on it, but Perkins picks up the loose ball. Bill Foster thought a foul should have been called.
Excellent timing that time by Jones.
Matt Doherty, heavy traffic. Falls off the side of the rim, but Perkins is right there to put it back. Sam Perkins has 6 points in the early going.
That's a tough break for Clemson. They had the ball in their possession twice. Jones losing it the second time, and North Carolina gets it easy too.
15:30 left in first half action here. Murray Jarman had the ball knocked loose, shot it and missed. And Doherty to Kenny Smith. The Tar Heels getting penetration again. Hale from the wing.
Clemson in trouble, as I mentioned, Fred. If they're going to allow North Carolina to penetrate into the foul line area, you just can't cover them because they all move so well without the ball.
It is 12-4 North Carolina. The Tar Heels up by 8 as Jarman fires from the baseline and picks up his 6th point. He has scored every Clemson point so far in this game.
It's a case where Kenny Smith lost the handle a little bit when he had to go to his left hand with a dribble. Did you notice that?
He has that heavy bandage, a soft cast on that hand. Hale Steve Hale just reversed against Vincent Hamilton and scored easily. It's 14-6 North Carolina.
Breakdown by Hamilton defensively. If you know a man's breaking out to the far side, you've got to be aware when you play North Carolina, he's coming back with a backdoor cut.
There's the trap again, but they beat it, and Jarman slams it home back over his head. 8 points for Murray Jarman, 14-8 North Carolina.
Murray Jarman gives a signal. He's a little tired. It may be well be. He's got every point for their team. He's really breathing heavy and bending over. He's got to get his second win.
Joe Wolf to Matt Doherty. He has the shot from the circle, and it's good. Matt Doherty has 4. 16-8 Carolina. Dean Smith.
Watching Jarman, he's really breathing heavily right now. Maybe a little emotional anxiety in his part. If he gets in another minute or so, he'll get his breath back.
Raymond Jones with an open shot from the circle. Can't get it down. Sam Perkins to Kenny Smith. To Matt Doherty.
Nice play.
Foul. Raymond Jones had a hand on him. It'll be the second foul on Jones.
Last year in the ACC opening round, when these two teams went against each other, remember Matt Doherty had one of the best games statistically of his career, and today he's playing aggressively offensively, taking the ball right to the hoop.
He had 28 in that game last year. Excuse me, I said the second foul on Jones. That's his first.
Wallace sitting down now. Raymond Jones sitting down. Both teams substituting freely here.
Clemson has hit 4 out of 8 shots. North Carolina has hit 7 out of 11. And here's Matt Doherty, a 77% free throw shooter. Nothing but net.
Fred, North Carolina, and one of the things you look for a great team, particularly in NCAA tournament play, which they'll definitely be in, is what can they do from the foul line. And North Carolina's a team this year shooting 79.1%. I mean, that is a great stat.
They're second in the nation.
Harvard still leading the nation, but, you know, a little difference in the personnel there.
We have a timeout taken here with 13 minutes, 46 seconds left in first half action. Our score now, North Carolina 17, Clemson 8.
Clemson is 4 of 8. Murray Jarman has all 8 points for the Tigers. Carolina will have the ball out of bounds after it was lost by Jenkins trying to recover the missed free throw. Alley-oop into Popson off the glass, too strong. Perkins has got the rebound, tried to power back up. Lost by Carolina, out of bounds. Tom Frame says it went out of bounds as somebody from Carolina, maybe Perkins, tried to recover it, so it's going to belong to Clemson. Doherty is back in, Exum is out. Carolina's lined up now, as Wolf will return, is Joe Wolf, Joe Wolf, Michael Jordan, Sam Perkins, Steve Hale, and Matt Doherty. For Clemson, it is Mark Campbell just into the ball game, the Elizabethton, Tennessee product. He's in there with Horace Grant, Vince Hamilton, Anthony Jenkins, and Murray Jarman. Carolina's in the 1-3-1 zone now with 13.5 minutes left to play here in the first game. Jarman inside to Grant, fall away from 8 feet is good. Horace Grant, the first person other than Murray Jarman to get a bucket, is on the board, 17-10. Matt Doherty quickly the other way. Cross court to Jordan. It was deflected out of bounds by Jenkins into the Clemson bench. It'll be Carolina's ball at the wing on the left, right in front of the Tiger bench. Head coach Bill Foster and his brain trust of Clint Bryant, Dave Campbell, and Jerry Faulkner looking on. Hale inbounds the ball to Matt Doherty. He drops it off to Hale. Clemson still in a man-to-man. Campbell has got the defensive job on Hale now that he's come into the lineup. Perkins now at the left wing goes to Matt Doherty, top of the circle against Hamilton. Jenkins moving out on Jordan, who takes the pass on the right to Joe Wolf. Back to Jordan. Jordan will penetrate left of the lane, into the lane, falling, and we've got a foul called. A shot by Jordan on the move on the lean-in from about 10 feet was no good, and the foul's on Horace Grant of the Tigers. It's his first. Henry, it's the third team foul against Clemson, and Jordan will shoot a pair. Clemson's been so fundamentally sound all season around the boards and trying to block out the taller teams they've had to play, and that's been the success of out-rebounding so many of the taller clubs. In this ballgame, Woody, they're not doing that. Fundamentals are falling through for Clemson. Michael Jordan misses the free throw, and I know Bill Foster's worried. He's got to get his guys blocking out down there because Carolina is taller even without Brad Doherty in the ballgame, and they'll be in trouble rebounding-wise unless they do block out well on the boards.
Michael Jordan, the ACC's leading scorer at 19-6, makes his second free throw after 19 and 22 points in the first two games. He's got 3 thus far here today, and it's 18-10 in favor of Carolina. Tar Heels now trapping in the backcourt. Pass deflected, saved by Murray Jarman. Lead to Hamilton. He chases it down in the right corner. Almost got away from him. Now back to Campbell at the wing on the right. To Grant. Now they swing it to Jenkins on the left side. Carolina back to a man-to-man. To Grant, moving left of the circle, one dribble. Inside to Jarman. Turn, shoots over Joe Wolf. Went in, came out, went back in. Jarman with 10 of Clemson's 12 points. 18-12 with 12.5 minutes left to play in the first half. Steve Hale in the center jump circle here at the Coliseum in Greensboro. Sets the Carolina offense. Now moves it away on the left to Doherty. Perkins going through on the right. Doherty couldn't get it to him. Hale to Perkins. Off the baseline. No good. Tapped back outside off several hands. Finally claimed Joe Wolf to Matt Doherty. Steve Hale. Michael Jordan from 20 feet. Good. 20-12. Jordan now with 5 points. Mark Campbell will be picked up by Jordan in the Tiger backcourt. Gets away from Jordan, now coming inside the hash mark on the right. Breaks his dribble, got to get some help. Finally got it to Grant at the high post.
Grant double team with Perkins behind him. Jordan in front. Free to Hamilton, who was wide open. He pulled the string, got free on the Carolina defense for the drive, and it's 20-14. Hale across the timeline now, gets it to Perkins, who moves to the left wing. Sam Holding gives it to Michael Jordan. Back door is Matt Doherty. Reverse layup is good, and there's a foul. Bucket is good. Foul's on Horace Grant. Grant picks up his second, fourth team foul. Doherty has his 7th point. Will have a chance for the game's first three-point play. Henry Michael Jordan said something very interesting in the dressing room after the game, the double overtime victory on Saturday. After Matt Doherty's jump shot sent that game into overtime at the end of regulation. He said, people, you're not going to see the same Matt Doherty the rest of the season. It's going to be a different guy with much more confidence, and he's taken it to the hole that way today.
He's playing with a lot of tenacity, Woody. I tell you, it's just a great opportunity for Matt to shine now after becoming the star of that ball game on Saturday. Wouldn't you know, the guy who would be the star is a guy who's been in the background for the last 4 years, and he really pulled him through on
He makes his free throw to complete the three-point play. Matt Doherty with 8. The Tar Heels have got 23, and with an official timeout on the floor, the score. Back at the Coliseum in Greensboro, 11:39 to play in the first half. Woody Durham with Henry Hinton, and Carolina has matched its biggest lead of the game with a 23-14 lead.
This broadcast is authorized in the rights of the Tar Heel Sports Network through WCHL Chapel Hill solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and account of this game without the express written consent of the Tar Heel Sports Network is prohibited.
Clemson with the ball underway. Chris Michael, jump shot off the glass on the pass from Horace Grant. Michael, the sophomore from Rutherford, North Carolina, former teammate of Vince Hamilton in the Clemson lineup for the first time. Jordan drives baseline, feeds Perkins left of the lane, now to Kenny Smith. Jump shot from 17 is good. 25-16. Kenny Smith's first bucket of the game. 11:15 to go in the first half. Campbell, Grant, Hamilton, Michael, and Jarman for Clemson. Doherty, Smith, Perkins, Jordan, and Wolf for Carolina. The Tar Heels in a 1-3 zone defensively. 1-3-1 zone. Campbell, top of the circle. Now to Hamilton at the right wing in front of the Tar Heel bench. Back to Campbell. Gets it back to Hamilton. Goes low post to Grant. Grant to the high post. Now to Jarman. Back to Hamilton. Jump shot out of the right corner is no good. Ball knocked outside. Doherty trying to get to it, but it's Campbell who knocks it into press row and leaps up on the top of the press table, and nice save by John Feinstein and Ken Denlinger of the Washington Post, and Doug Dowdy and Bill Brill of the Roanoke Times World News. They get an assist on the play.
Woody, Carolina shooting over 60% now, 10 of 16. Clemson just about 65%. They're 8-13.
Wolf, ball thrown right through his hands. Kenny Smith intercepted by Michael. Fourth turnover for Carolina. To Hamilton again, too long, but Vince ran it down. Campbell from 22 feet, no good. Kenny Smith. Carolina really had the boards covered up. Wolf, Perkins, and Smith. Pass to Doherty. Knocked away by Jarman. Recovered Grant. Carolina turns the ball over for a 5th time. Campbell stole a quick look at the Tiger bench. 25-16, Clemson down by 9, needing to get something going. Jarman's got it in his hands, and he's the guy who's had it going offensively for the Tigers. Wolf playing him really tight, dropped it off to Campbell on the right. Campbell in the midcourt area, now hits it away to Hamilton. Hamilton looking inside, Jarman at the high post, turns, Perkins blocked it. Outlet goes to Kenny Smith. Smith coming down on the right side, now we'll bring it across the top of the foul circle to Jordan on the left. Back at the top of the circle to Perkins from 18 feet, knocked it in. Pretty flat, but Sam likes the results. He has 8. It's 27-16. Carolina now with its biggest lead of the ball game at 11 points. Campbell picked up by Jordan as he comes across the timeline. Clemson moving to the north goal. To Jarman, who comes well out with Wolf playing slightly off of it. Now Wolf tightens up. Gets it to Hamilton, and Smith is right in Hamilton's supporter. He takes the jump shot, and it's no good. We got a whistle, and a foul underneath is on Carolina. Steve Hale will return to the Carolina lineup, replacing Jordan. And the foul has been called on Kenny Smith. Smith, who was out 8 games and still has to wear that rubberized protective device on his left wrist with that fractured wrist, has drawn his first foul. It's the 3rd team foul. Nobody with more than 1 for Carolina. Horace Grant has 2 for Clemson. Vince Hamilton at the line. And Vince plays well off that line. He makes good on his first one. You'll recall that in the Duke game, he was called 4 times for violating the plane of the free throw line before the shot got away. So he's about a foot off of it now, and since Bill Foster has said nothing after checking the films, let's assume that he was guilty. 27-17. He missed the last free throw. It was rebounded by Perkins, so Carolina's on the attack at the south end of the Greensboro Coliseum. Matt Doherty, 15 feet bottom. Matt Doherty with 10 first half points, and it's 29-17. 9 minutes left to play in the first half. Campbell across the timeline against Kenny Smith. Grant calling for the ball at the high post. It goes instead to Michael over on the left. He's caught in the double team out of the scramble to Campbell. Right corner, jump shot on its way. Good. Mark Campbell with his first field goal. 29-19. Carolina by 10. Kenny Smith will get it across the timeline. Clemson set up in a 2-3 zone. It'll be a matchup zone. Goes to Hale now on the left side. Steve will bring it just left of the circle. He's in replacing Jordan. Hale is, by the way. Smith, alley-oop to Perkins. Had to come down. Got fouled by Mark Campbell, but it wasn't called. Campbell hit him squarely on top of the hand. But there, I guess, if it's hands-on ball, it's judged as part of the ball. It goes out of bounds, and it will belong to Carolina. Jordan returns for the Tar Heels, replacing Matt Doherty. Clemson's made some changes. Glenn McCants has come into the lineup, along with Raymond Jones, and Anthony Jenkins is back in. 29-19. Alley-oop into Wolf. Stripped to the ball by Campbell, but saved by Smith on the right side. He drops it to Perkins. Jump shot, right corner. Wouldn't drop. They battle for the rebound at the baseline, and it's McCants coming up with it for Clemson. Glenn McCants is a 6'9 sophomore from Columbia, South Carolina. First appearance in the Tiger lineup today. Campbell, right of the circle against Smith. He's in trouble. Got to get rid of it. Smith got him tied up. 5-second count. And Henry, I believe in recent games, as Clemson has now turned it over 4, the Tar Heels have come up with a 5-second count about the last 3 or 4 games on defense.
Well, it's interesting to see also now. McCants in the ballgame gives Clemson some extra strength inside, but Hamilton's out of the ballgame. Hamilton has not been a factor, Woody. Carolina has shut him down defensively. Only 3 points. And he was the reason Clemson could stay with Carolina in the first half down there.
Smith, cross-court pass to Hale on the left side. Looked low post, dropped it inside high to Perkins. Made a nice catch of the ball. The ball was knocked away. Carolina coaching staff wanted a foul. None coming as Jones gets it away to Campbell for Clemson. Off to Michael. Jump shot from out on the left. No good. Rebounded Jenkins. He follows up. Swatted into the Tar Heel bench by Sam Perkins. Give Sam 2 blocks early in the game. He's got 56. And the crowd, the Clemson fans, are wanting goaltending. The rest of the crowd is looking at each other saying, hey, did you see that? 29-19. There's been another official timeout taken here in Greensboro. 7:39 to play in the first half. And with timeout on the floor, the score, Carolina 29, Clemson 19.
The event of the season right now at Candler Mobile Village.
One of the Atlantic Coast Conference tournament, 29-19 with 7:39 to play in the opening half.
Tar Heels shooting 63%, 12 of 19 from the floor. The Heels went 3 of 7, then 4 of 4. They had a drought of 2 shots, and then they were 4 of 4. So Woody, Carolina's shooting just terrific. Clemson is now in a little bit of a drought themselves. They've hit only 1 of their last 6 shots. They're 9 of 18, though, for the half, 50%. And rebounding-wise, Carolina winning the battle of the boards right now. 13 rebounds. Clemson only able to muster 4.
Of course, the Tar Heels coming into the ACC tournament, leading the country in field goal percentage at 55%. And the shot from outside by Anthony Jenkins for Clemson is good. Jenkins with his first field goal of the day, and it's 29-21. Clemson down by 8. Carolina number 1 in the country in field goal percentage, 55-1. Number 2 in the country in free throw percentage, 79%. Ball lost by Jordan on the alley-oop pass from Hale. He actually caught the ball behind the glass on the left side, and that's out of bounds behind that glass, so it's a turnover for Carolina. 29-21 the score. Clemson down by 8, and Kenny Smith will pressure Mark Campbell slightly in the backcourt. Campbell has no trouble getting it across the timeline, however, on the right. Now whips it away to Jenkins on the left side. Goes back to Campbell. Jump shot out of the corner is good. 29-23. Clemson has pulled within 6 on Mark Campbell's second field goal of the game. Just under 7 minutes left to play in the first half. Don't forget, Jimmy Black, former Carolina player, will be with Henry Hinton to talk about the first half at halftime from an X&O standpoint. Smith now to Jordan, top of the circle. High lob into Perkins. Caught it off the glass. Good. Sam Perkins with 10. He and Doherty with 10 points each here in the first half. 31-23. Carolina leading by 8. Campbell against Smith across the timeline on the right. Tigers in bright orange, Carolina in white. Jones now back out to Campbell. Almost a steal by Jordan. Couldn't make it. Jenkins shot left of the circle. Wouldn't go. Jordan went back to the glass after missing the steal. Comes away with a rebound. It's off to Kenny Smith. Top of the circle. Jump shot 18 feet. Off the front of the rim. Tap followed by Jordan is no good. Jones pulls it down for Clemson. Gets it now away to Campbell. Campbell quickly front court. Carolina getting back defensively. Pass to Jarman. Running one-hander off the glass. No good. Jones tap follow. No good. Joe Wolf with a rebound. Drops it to Smith. Tar Heels in the run. Smith goes all the way. Reverse layup is good, but no basket. He travels, says Tom Frame, on the drive down the lane. Carolina coaching staff doesn't agree. Kenny Smith is disgusted by that, and Matt Doherty will return to the Carolina lineup. That's 7 turnovers now for the Tar Heels. Doherty replacing Jordan. Michael sitting down with 6:04 to play in the first half, and Carolina holding an 8-point lead at 31-23. Carolina now back to its zone defense now, 1-3-1. Chris Michael now back to Campbell, top of the circle, to Jarman on the right of the circle. He drops it back off to Campbell. Campbell moving now to the left, still in the midcourt area, to Michael, who's just a step inside the hash mark. To Campbell, now to Jenkins. Couple of dribbles, or Jones rather, now to Jenkins. Jump shot, left corner is no good. Michael there battling. He tossed it up, but it wouldn't go down. He was never under control with it. Rebound by Perkins to Smith, now to Hale. Takes it deep in the left corner. Gives it back to Perkins from 20 feet. Good! Perkins knocked down on the play, and John Clockerty says, get up. Dean Smith is saying, what do you mean, get up? He was knocked down. That's 12 for Perkins thus far in the first half. 33-23 with 5:15 to play in the half. Campbell, high lob to Jarman. Caught it, stuffed it. Got behind Wolf. Jarman has got 12 of Clemson's 25 points. Smith right through the center jump circle. 33-25 with 5 minutes to play in the half. Smith pushes it away to Wolf. Wolf looks inside for Perkins from the right wing. Can't get it to him. Comes to Doherty. Now it's off to Hale. Hale looking inside to Perkins. Gives it to him on the lob. Off the left baseline. Sam's shot's no good. Wolf stretching for it. Can't get it. It bounced long to Jenkins. Now to Campbell. Clemson now with a chance to get within 6 again. Jones to Jenkins. Right wing against Doherty. Back to Jones. Over to Michael. Michael works against Hale. He's got a little bit of a size advantage on him. May try to post him up. Instead goes inside to Jones. Knocked away. Recovered Jenkins. Got it to Jones. Jones triple team to Campbell. Jump shot 20 feet. No good. Perkins and Smith with the board covered for Carolina. Outlet to Wolf. Now it's back to Smith. Smith really wants to increase the tempo. Drives. Ball knocked away. Went out of bounds. It'll belong to Carolina. Off Clemson.
Boy, Clemson is really playing unorganized with him, but you just can't say that. You got to say something about Murray Jarman. He's playing out of his head. He's got 12 points. He's averaging something like 14.5. He's almost got his average here, and we got 4.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Murray Jarman, without him in this ball game, after Carolina has shut Vincent Hamilton down like they have, Clemson would have been in trouble without Jarman.
Hale inbounds to Doherty. Comes now to Jordan. From 17, he passes away to Steve Hale. High lob to Popson. Couldn't get to it. Jordan in there, but it's recovered by Grant for Clemson. Gets the outlet to Campbell. Campbell coming down right of the circle. Jordan behind him. Bounces it away to Jenkins. He gives it up to Horace Grant, who's back in. To Michael. Jump shot 20 feet. No good. Perkins with yet another rebound. 33-25. Off to Hale. Hale quickly front court. Sprints away to the left of the circle. Drops it to Doherty in the corner. Right back. Comes to Perkins. Look to Popson at the high post to Jordan. Jordan fakes. Michael gets on him close defensively to Doherty. Now to Jordan. From 20 feet, the shot short. Off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Campbell. Clemson coming on the run now. Campbell will pull up, wait for his orange-shirted teammates to get front court and set the offense. 3:35 to play in the half. Bounce pass high post to Grant. Back to Campbell. Now to Jenkins near the right corner. To Jones. To Campbell. To Michael. Jump shot left of the circle. Rimmed out. Jordan's got this rebound. It bounced long over Grant's head that time. Hale. Bounce pass to Popson. He couldn't control it. It goes out of bounds and belongs to Clemson. With that, Vince Hamilton will get back into the Clemson lineup. He's been on the bench for a good while. 3:22 remaining in the first half. An official timeout's been taken in Greensboro with timeout on the floor. The score, Carolina 33, Clemson 25. Statistician John Dahl, our production assistant, and Jim Hebner, our executive producer, all here in Greensboro, bringing you all 3 days of coverage in this ACC tournament. Right now in Game 1, Carolina's got a 33-25 lead with 3:22 showing on the clock.
Clemson's shooting has fallen off considerably, Woody. They're now 12 of 27, 44%. Carolina leads in rebounds 21-9. That is a big factor in this ball game. Turnover-wise, Carolina's had 9 turnovers, Clemson with 4. The Heels shooting 56% now at 14 of 25.
Carolina's in the 1-3-1 zone defensively. Popson at the back of it. Back in the lineup. Inside to Jarman. Jarman with a jump hook over Popson is good. Jarman with 14 first half points. 33-27. Clemson within 6. Perkins has dropped to one knee at the baseline, but he gets up now and is all right, I guess, except Mark Davis is going to check him, and Sam wants Mark to look at his left hand. You know, Sam earlier this year had been wearing a brace on the hand, and he seemed maybe to have jammed a finger here on his left hand as Jarman made the jump hook, and somebody bumped Sam, I believe, at the baseline. It was not the force of the play, just somebody bumped Sam with the baseline, and he might have jammed his finger into that particular person. I believe he has gotten a towel. I don't think he's got any ice on it. He's just now taking a breather now on the bench as Joe Wolf has come in to replace him. Jarman, Henry, who has a game high this year, of 23 points, has got 14 here on a 7 of 10 performance in the first half.
Well, I tell you, he's unconscious, Woody. He's playing great.
He had 15 in the first game against Carolina and only 2 with 2 rebounds in that second game at Clemson just in the last week or so. Carolina controlling. Hale gets it from Doherty on the right side. 2:45 left to play in the first half. 33-27. Carolina's been up by as many as 11. It's now at 6. Clemson back in the zone. Carolina taking its time around the perimeter of the zone. Here's Hale moving left of the circle. Now it comes to Doherty. Now the tempo starts to quicken a bit. Jordan runners. The clock's running down. Scripted. I'm talking about the 45-second shot clock, and from 20 feet, Michael now with 7, and it's 35-27 Carolina. Carolina back to the 1-3 zone defensively as Campbell controls for Clemson in the midcourt area. Moving now right of the circle. Bounce pass away to Hamilton. Back out it goes to Jenkins from 25 feet. No good. Followed by Grant. No good. His second follow is good. Grant got a couple of offensive rebounds up off the right side of the glass, and it's 35-29. We're under 2 minutes to go in the half. Hale to Matt Doherty now at the right wing. Now to Jordan. Jarman moving out on him. That goes to Hale on the left side, looking inside to Doherty now, top of the circle. Matt, one step inside the top of the circle to Hale. Now to Popson, turnaround jumper, left of the lane is no good. Doherty's there to follow up. Ball knocked away. Clemson comes up with it. Campbell came off the baseline with it after it was slapped away from Doherty. Clemson could get within 4. Here's Grant inside to Jarman. Underneath from behind the glass, it hit the backboard. Rebounded Wolf for Carolina. He drops it off to Hale. Lead pass on the right to Doherty. Pulls up from 15. Little flat, no good. Wolf Popson trying to follow and draws the foul. Tom Frame says he went over either Horace Grant or Vince Hamilton's back. Popson's foul is his first. It's the 4th team foul, so Clemson will simply get the ball out of bounds. Perkins still on the Carolina bench. Mark Davis has gone over to talk to him several times and is talking to him right now. And from the positioning of that foul, and Mark Henry is gesturing to his nose, I think Sam might have gotten hit in the nose, 35-29. We first thought it might have been a jammed hand. Here's Hamilton, right corner. Won't go down. Jordan's got the rebound. Outlet to Matt Doherty on the right. Clemson's defense getting back as quick as it can. Doherty takes it in the right corner. Bounces to Popson. Back to Smith. To Wolf from 17 feet. Good! 37-29. Joe Wolf's first bucket of the game from 18 feet in the top of the circle. Less than a minute to go in the first half now. Carolina back up by 8 points. Tar Heels have led by as many as 11, I told you. Campbell, what is Jenkins now, left of the circle. Carolina man-to-man here in the last minute. Jenkins on the drive, he's tripped up. Tom Frame whistles personal number 1 on Matt Doherty. That'll be the 5th team foul against Carolina. Henry, Carolina has succeeded this year in something like 12 first halves, 13 second halves, 7 complete games, not letting the team into a 1-and-1. And Clemson's got only 40 more seconds, or else the Tigers will have played this first half without being in the bonus, but neither has Carolina gone to the bonus.
Good defense for Carolina right now, Woody, throughout the first half. Sam Perkins is so specialist. It's hard to tell what the injury is, Woody, but I got a feeling Sam might have gotten hurt in the face very early in the ballgame when he went to the dressing room, and it may have got another elbow in the face a couple of minutes ago. He continues to wipe his face and his nose with a towel, so I think it's a face injury of some sort.
Could very well be. Good point. Jenkins now to Campbell, 20 seconds to play. Clemson waiting on 1 shot despite being down by 8. Dean Smith talking to his defense. Bill Foster to his offense. To Jones. Now the defense gets a lot more aggressive. To Jarman against Wolf. Now it comes to Campbell. The clock's at 8. Here's Campbell penetrating to Jarman. Jump shot right corner. No good. Rebounded Jordan. 3 seconds left. Jordan will give it up to Smith. Smith fires from 30 feet. No good. Off the glass to the right. The teams will go to the dressing room here after the first half of play with
the team of destiny indeed. NC State, maybe we'll have one here in the 1984 ACC tournament. In a few moments, we're going to have coaches Mike Krzyzewski and Bobby Crimmins on hand with Jeff Mullins. All that and more on the ACC Sports Center. But first, let's take the second half underway. Let's return ourselves to the floor. Clemson and North Carolina. Fred White and Billy Packer with all the halftime stats.
All right, thank you, Jack. Again, North Carolina up by 8, and here are Hardy's halftime stats. Clemson not shooting it well, getting out-rebounded, Billy, but staying in the ballgame somehow.
They are staying in the game. Murray Jarman, has really been a key on the inside, making everything that he's thrown up there. So far, he's 7 for 12, and it made about 5 in a row to start the ball game. Kept him in the game, and what you're finding is North Carolina maybe being a little lackadaisical coming down on the break in regard to their shot selection. But Clemson playing a very good first half and hanging in there and doing what Bill Foster needed, which was to hang in as long as possible to get that confidence level up.
There's one thing in Clemson's favor. You look at the turnovers. The Tar Heels turned it over 9 times. Clemson really took care of the ball.
That's right. That's what I was talking about in terms of getting a little lackadaisical with the ball, feeling they had a working margin, a nice lead, and they're really not in a position to blow this game open.
Let's check the individual scoring for both these teams. Here's the Clemson scoring. Murray Jarman with a big hat. Only had 1 rebound, but got 14 points and 3 dunks, excuse me.
Played extremely well and made the shots early, Fred, when North Carolina had that 11-point lead, and looks like they had an opportunity to just blow it open early. Murray Jarman kept sticking in there and making some nice shots.
Sam Perkins having a big day for North Carolina. He has 12 points in this ball game. He also has 10 rebounds in the first half. Matt Doherty with 10 points. Jordan 7, Hale 4, Smith and Wolf 2. And Billy with 9:09 left in the half.
We're ready to go. Second half. Carolina with an 8-point lead, 37-29. The winner will move on to meet the winner of Duke, Georgia Tech tomorrow afternoon at 1:30. Vince Hamilton to make the inbounds play. Got it into Jarman. Carolina's opened aggressively defensively. Hamilton on the drive, laid it up and scores. So Vince Hamilton very quickly on the give and go gets his 5th point of the ball game. 37-31. The Tigers no doubt feeling they've got to have more offensively from the Rutherford, North Carolina senior. Carolina now moving to the north end of the Coliseum. Second half, bounce inside to Wolf. Turnaround off the right baseline is no good. Wallace with the rebound for Clemson. He's back in the lineup now at guard. Jordan knocks the ball away, and Smith running it down in the right corner. Jordan came up from behind Wallace. He wasn't expecting it there and deflected the ball. Bounce pass to Perkins from 10 feet. It's no good. Rebound falls into the hands of Jenkins on the right side. Carolina, of course, with nobody there. The pass to Hamilton. He wasn't expecting it at the hash mark on the right. Hit him in the back. Bounced out of bounds. And it's going to be Carolina's ball on the turnover. And Bill Foster, I'll tell you what, those are the sorts of things in ball games like this that will make your hair, if it doesn't come out, turn a little grayer. 37-31. Jordan at the left wing. Perkins on the alley-oop, catches the ball, comes down against Jones, turns, lays it up and scores. Jones was out of control when he came down. Sam in control at the baseline. He wheeled and scored his 14th point, and it's 39-31.
Just a great play by Sam Perkins. Woody, he had the opportunity to go ahead and slam it in, but he brought it down and then took it straight back to the hoop. Great play by Sam.
Jones on the left to Jenkins. Carolina tight, man-to-man. Jenkins against Doherty, moving left of the circle. Bounces to Wallace. Couldn't control it. Fumbled it once. Tried to regain it. Fumbled it a second time over the end line out of bounds. And Wallace knows he's going out because he got out of the... as he came up off that play losing the ball, he immediately walked to the bench, and Mark Campbell has replaced him. 39-31, Carolina by 8 with 18:40 left to play in the contest. It's Smith across the timeline. He started here today. First time he started since the LSU game on the 29th of January. That was a game in which he was injured. Here's Doherty. Turnaround over Hamilton off the baseline. Good. Matt Doherty with 12 points in the ball game so far, 10 in the first half, and it's 41-31. Carolina has led by as many as 11. It's now at 10. Campbell gives it up to Hamilton. Right corner to Jones. Feeds cross court, threw it right between Jarman and Jenkins, and it goes out of bounds into the Clemson bench. 4th turnover for Clemson. Bill Foster says, what's going on here? But I'm telling you, Henry, the Tigers appear to be unraveling at the seams.
Boy, they really are, Woody. 4 turnovers in less than 2 minutes. Clemson's got to get it together. Carolina's going to run away with it here early.
Perkins to Smith, now to Jordan. Into the lane. Double clutched it off the glass, no good. Tap by Wolf is no good. Perkins had it. It's knocked away by Jarman. John Crockett says Carolina's ball. The Clemson fans don't believe it. 41-31 with just under 18 minutes left to play. Kenny Smith will inbound from the baseline. Does to Matt Doherty at the right wing. Doherty looks inside the Clemson 2-3 zone, gives it to Perkins at the baseline. Now it goes back left of the circle to Kenny Smith. Jump shot from there, no good. Popped out, rebounded Jenkins for Clemson. He dribbles it by Campbell, now by Jones, going across the timeline left side. Takes it down the corner, now gives it to Jones back out front. Jones fumbled it momentarily, stolen now by Smith on the pass to Hamilton. Smith against Hamilton, one-on-one, he goes to the glass. Reverse layup is no good, but Wolf is the safety valve on the left, and he scores. Joe Wolf has his 4th point of the game. 43-31. I'll bet Jimmy for a moment thought he was back on the playgrounds of Queens, New York. He and Hamilton working one-on-one, and he tried a fancy move on him, but it wouldn't go down. To Campbell from Jones, 17, feeds to Jenkins, driving lane, puts up the shot, no good. Wolf with the rebound. Good inside position on Raymond Jones. To Smith, cross court to Jordan on the left. Look away to Doherty, couldn't control it. Michael took one dribble with a tongue out. He fired a very hard pass off the dribble to Matt Doherty. He couldn't control it. Tar Heels' first turnover of the half. Assistant Roy Williams standing up beside Dean Smith. Dean Smith upset, I think, with Michael Jordan's pass, but Roy Williams applauding the team's hustle, at least on the play, and saying, that's the sort of effort we need, guys. 43-31. 12-point lead, whistle off the ball, and a foul is on Anthony Jenkins for holding Matt Doherty off the ball. Foul on Jenkins is his second. It's the first team foul against Clemson here in the second half. And now Bill Foster, Henry, has that look of disbelief on his face.
Well, it's been a game right now. It's going back and forth, a game of turnovers and miscues by both teams. And Carolina has an opportunity to get its biggest lead at 14 here if it can get a bucket, Woody.
43-31, a 12-point Tar Heel advantage. Smith looking to Jordan, back door, couldn't get him the alley-oop pass. Here's Jordan now from Doherty. Foul by Jenkins. Jenkins quickly gets two. That's his third with 16:37 left to play in the basketball game, and Michael Jordan will shoot a pair on the Tigers' second-team foul. Steve Hale is replacing Kenny Smith now in the Carolina lineup. The two of them exchange defensive assignments before Smith goes to the bench. Jordan, who was 1 of 2 in the first half, will toe the strike. Michael, Carolina's 10th all-time leading scorer, already picked by the U.S. basketball writers as their National Player of the Year. He's got 8 points thus far in the game. He had 19 and 22 points in the 2 regular season meetings between these two teams. He's the 5th best free throw shooter in the league at 79%. The next one, front rim, and it hung there for a while before finally dropping through. That's 9 points for Jordan, 45-31. Zone pressure by the Heels. Jarman travels, trying to avoid knocking Steve Hale down. Bill Foster throwing his hands in the air, walked quickly to the timeline. He can't believe the call. A walking violation on Murray Jarman. Henry, he was awfully lucky not to get called for the foul. Steve Hale in great defensive position in that zone pressure.
Terrific play by Steve Hale. Carolina now with a chance to run 10 unanswered points on the Tigers.
Matt Doherty, top of the circle, looking to Perkins inside, goes to Hale. 45-31 to Perkins. Perkins turns, tied up. Jump ball, who does it belong to Carolina? Clemson, you'll remember, had the ball out of bounds to start the second half of play. So it's going to be Carolina's basketball underneath its own goal. 16:15 to play in the half, 45-31, Carolina on top. Georgia Tech and Duke are waiting in the wings for game 2 of this opening round. We'll have that for you as well. Here's Hale to Doherty, top of the circle. Now goes to Hale, deep left corner. Steve comes up the circle a couple of dribbles. Now to Wolf, to Jordan on the drive. Lost it, came down, recovered, and scored. Deflected on the play. Jordan recovered, went to the right side of the bucket, and he has 11, 4 of which have come here in the second half. It's 47-31. Carolina leading by 16 points. Campbell right of the circle. Breaks his dribble against Jordan. Goes to Jarman. Fumbled it. Recovered. Now to Jenkins. Jump shot. 20 feet. Perkins fouled him. Came into him as he was getting the shot away. That's number 1 on Perkins. It'll be the first team foul against Carolina. But Jarman, who has not yet been to the line today, will go to the strike.
Well, I tell you, Clemson's in big trouble, Woody. They're down 16 now to the Tar Heels. They've only got 1 basket in the whole second half. That one came right after the beginning of the second half when Hamilton was able to break away, catch Carolina's defense sleeping, and that came with 4 seconds lapsed in the second half. After that free throw right then, Clemson had not scored a point in the second half.
I said Jarman a moment ago, but it is Anthony Jenkins at the line, and he made the first, missed the second, tapped outside, recovered by the Tigers. It's Mark Campbell. Lob to Hamilton. Hamilton against Hale. Blocks Doherty, and Doherty draws the foul. Matt Doherty picks up his second personal foul. That'll be the second team foul against Carolina. And to the line will go Vince Hamilton. Told you in the first half that Hamilton is playing well back off that stripe. He got called for violating, stepping on that line before he had released the ball. That's the free throw line 4 times at Duke. 3 by one official, once by another one. The sound you hear, the net, as he makes good on his first one. Hamilton now with 6 points. 47-33. He'll have another one coming. Shoots just a little bitty jump shot. Next one is good as well. He's got 7, and right now, an official timeout has been taken here in Greensboro with the Tar Heels leading by 13. It's Carolina 47, Clemson 34.
9 from the floor. Clemson has only taken 2 shots because they've had 6 turnovers in the second half. Well, they can't win like that, Woody. They got to get the ball up, that's for sure. They're 1 of 2 for 50%.
Tar Heels with a lineup of Hale, Wolf, Doherty, Jordan, and Perkins controlling the ball. Clemson's got Jarman, Hamilton, Campbell, Jenkins and Grant in the ball game at the moment. Hale to Doherty, deep in the right corner to Jordan. He penetrates foul line, fakes, now dishes away to Steve Hale. Hale will come back left of the circle, lobs inside now to Perkins. Jump hook is no good. Tap ball of Doherty. Matt Doherty with his 14th point of the game, 49-34. Boy, Matt Doherty something offensively. Of course, Henry, you'll remember his career high, 28 points against Clemson in the opening round of the tournament last year. He likes the Tigers, especially in the tournament. Grant, foul line for Clemson, good. 49-36, Horace Grant, 6 points. Under 15 minutes to play. Hale across the timeline. Now to Jordan. Made a nice outreach catch of the ball when it almost was getting away from him over the inline. To Perkins, top of the circle. Now to Doherty. Doherty moving left of the circle to Hale. Hale looking inside. Clemson now playing a 3-2 zone to Perkins. Got it on the jump. Perkins came into the lane, shot it, just tucked his feet right up under him and fired it up, and it's 51-36. Sam's got 16.
Apparently not being bothered by a bloody nose that he sustained early in the ballgame. When we found out that he did indeed get hit in the face, sustained a bloody nose that gave him a little trouble in the second half, but looks like he's okay now.
Hamilton, top of the circle for Clemson against Carolina's man-to-man. Drops it away to Jenkins now, right of the circle. Jenkins bounces low to Jarman, got free from Wolf. Jump hook off the baseline is good. Murray Jarman with 16 points. 51-38. Long lead on the transition. Hale caught the Clemson defense napping. Doherty was behind the defense. Matt Doherty with 16 points, 53-38. Matt's high game this year, and that matches it. 16 against Syracuse and Stanford. He's got 16 here. He's 7 of 10. Jarman jump hook left baseline this time. So left to right, Barry Jarman can score on the jump hook. It's 53-40. Boy, Jarman has been the only thing in the Clemson arsenal today offensively. Perkins faking Campbell, jump shot, 15, front of the rim. Joe Wolf's got the rebound. Baseline, clogged up, got it out front to Hale. We got a whistle, and the foul is on, 3 seconds. No foul, 3-second violation. I looked for Chris Michael, to be quite honest with you. When Lenny Wirtz said 3, what they're arguing, Dean Smith is up saying now that the ball went up for a shot, so there's no way that there could be a 3-second call. They came down with the rebound in the lane. How can it be 3 seconds? Lenny Wirtz is telling Coach Dean Smith again he has 3 seconds. Coach Smith put his hand up to his forehead to say, Lenny, I just don't believe that. 53-40. Carolina by 13. Clemson's got the basketball. Kenny Smith has returned to the Carolina lineup now with Michael Jordan. Murray Jarman, left corner. He's hot and scores again. Jarman with 20. His high game this year, 23. He's hit his first 3 of the second half. He's 10 of 13 for the game. Jordan underneath for Carolina at the other end. Michael Jordan now with 13. It's 55-42. 13 minutes left to play from Greensboro. Campbell across the timeline on the right. Gives it on the wing to Vince Hamilton. Comes back to Campbell. Works across the top of the circle. Carolina in the 1-3-1. Jarman, Hamilton, high. Arcing jump shot is good out of the right corner. Hamilton with 9. 55-44. The Tar Heel lead is 11. Kenny Smith across the timeline. Hamilton said he put a little more arc on his jumper as he came back from that broken wrist of last year. That was a redshirt season for him. Smith at the right wing. Now to Hale. Feeds inside to Wolf. Ball thrown a little low. Lost it. Campbell recovers. Drops it off to Jenkins. Hamilton knocked down. Jenkins at the other end. Jump shot over Hale is good. It's 55-46. Clemson fighting back into the ball game, trying to get back in it. Jenkins with 5. Clemson 7 of 8 here in the second half. Tiger fans coming to their feet in support of the men in orange. Smith working right of the circle. Jump shot from 20 feet. Good for Kenny Smith. And Brad Doherty, first guy off the bench to cheer the jumper by the Queens, New York freshman. 57-46, Carolina by 11. Dean Smith searching his bench. Here's Vince Hamilton in the left corner. Horace Grant left of the lane. Bounce pass away to Campbell. Carolina back to man now after the made field goal by Kenny Smith. Bounces it low to Jarman. Turns over Wolf. Jump hook, no good. Hamilton follows on the left. Vince Hamilton now with 11 points. He's got 8 here in the second half. It's 57-48. Apparently Carolina's defense is relaxed a bit here on Hamilton at the outset. Let's see if it tightens back up. Wolf, right wing to Hale. Hale free at the foul line. Beats Jordan. Tried to catch it. The ball went out of bounds. Tom Frame says it touched the back of the board as Jordan tried to trap it. So Clemson's got a chance to get back within 7. Jarman and McCants, I thought were coming out, but instead we've got an official timeout.
Shoney's, America's dinner table.
Shoney's in Asheville, Waynesville, Brevard, Biltmore, Enka, and Hendersonville.
Woody Durham with Henry Hinton back in Greensboro, and about 2.5 minutes ago, Carolina was holding its biggest lead of the game, 15 points at 53-38. But the Tigers, with a 10-4 run, scoring their last 6 times down the floor, Henry, have now cut it to 9 at 57-48.
Well, Murray Jarman is one of the big reasons when he's 3 of 4 in the second half. Also, Hamilton coming on strong, 3 of 3. Clemson is 8 of 10 and 10 in the second half. That's kind of a startling figure. They only got 2 shots off in the first 6 minutes. They're shooting 80% for the second half. Carolina's shooting 56%. Also, Clemson has cut down on their turnovers.
Carolina with a double team on three-quarter court pressure. Campbell got it away to Jarman. Looked like he walked down to McCants. He missed the layup. They battle for it. Michael comes down with it for Clemson. Loops it to Hamilton. The Tigers are still in control and a chance to get within 7. Campbell down the midcourt area. Clemson moving to the south goal here in the second half. Bounce pass away to McCants. Looked to Hamilton cutting through. Couldn't get it to him. To Grant. Turnaround from 10 feet over. Doherty is good. Horace Grant makes it 57-50. Clemson has cut the Carolina lead in half from 15 down to 7. Smith across the timeline now. Not only are the Clemson fans cheering for the Tigers, but so are most of the other fans in Greensboro, except for the Carolina supporters. Doherty to Hale, top of the circle. Now to Michael Jordan. They drop off Jordan, standing at the right wing. He goes low to Doherty. Now comes up the right of the lane, bounces it back to Jordan. Jordan turns baseline, trap, gets it back into the middle, got away, recovered Hale. Off to Kenny Smith. Shot from outside is good. Smith with just great follow-through on his 20-foot jumper, and it's 59-50. Campbell now picked up by Smith on the defensive side of the center jump circle. Campbell angling now to his left toward the Clemson bench in the left wing. Smith dogging him now, picks up his dribble, goes high post to Grant. Grant double team, back to Campbell, drops it away to Michael. Michael jump shot right corner is no good. Recovered Jordan. Jordan ball knocked away, got away off Jordan's knee. Michael runs it down in the left corner. Flaherty says he double dribbled the ball and it'll belong to Clemson. Michael Jordan protesting that the ball had been knocked away, and he was in the process of recovering it, but it will be Clemson's ball on the turnover. Mark Campbell from the baseline, almost in the left corner. Jordan is out. Doherty has returned. The Tar Heel lineup will have, Joe Wolf's return, so it's Hale, Doherty, Wolf, Perkins, and Smith. Comes to Grant at the high post. Double team to Hamilton. Drives right to the circle. 15-foot jumper. Good. 59-52. Vince Hamilton with 13, 10 of which have come here in the second half. Under 10 minutes to play. 59-52. Smith now out front against Campbell. Clemson man-to-man. Goes to Wolf at the left wing to Perkins. Over to Smith at the right wing. Smith now top of the circle to Hale. Swings it left side to Doherty. Pushes it inside to Perkins. Back to Doherty. Penetrates, foul line. Can't get the shot away. Hale faking Hamilton. One step closer. Feeds Smith from 18 feet. No good. Bounces to Campbell. Tigers with a chance now to get within 5. Campbell driving the lane all the way. Lays it up. It goes. 59-54. Mark Campbell with 6. 9:20 to play. The Tigers in the midst of their run at the nation's #1 team. Smith to Wolf, top of the circle. Now to Hale on the right wing. Hale in one dribble. Now to Matt Doherty. Doherty from 10 feet won't go down. Perkins has got the rebound at the right baseline. Sam on his own dribble brings it back to the right wing in front of a standing Tar Heel bench. To Doherty. Now it comes to Kenny Smith. He'll back to the midcourt area to reset the offense. Campbell on him. Smith on the drive. Drops it off to Joe Wolf. To Matt Doherty. Doherty fires from out on the right, and it's good. 61-54. Somebody in orange got knocked down in the lane. Clemson upset. There was no foul on the play. Matt Doherty now with 18, his high game of the season, coming right here today against Clemson in the ACC tournament. Campbell to Hamilton. Clemson on the attack now at the south end of the Greensboro Coliseum. Hamilton on the drive. Bump, turn, shoots over the Grant screen. No good. Falls off to the right. Wolf is there to outposition Grant. Gets it to Smith. 3-on-2 break. Smith will give it up to Doherty. We get a whistle and an offensive foul called on Matt Doherty by Lenny Wirtz. Campbell knocked into the basket support. Matt Doherty draws his 3rd personal foul. It'll be the 3rd team foul against Carolina, and the Heel's 6th turnover with 8:26 remaining in the ball game.
Woody, I'm not sure that Campbell had his feet firmly planted on the ground, and I think that's what Matt Doherty's so upset about. If indeed he had those feet on the ground and Matt had banged into him like he did, then it should have been an offensive foul, but it looked as though Campbell's feet were moving to me.
61-54. Clemson again trying to cut the lead down to 5 points this time. Here's Campbell, 20-foot jumper. Good. 61-56. Mark Campbell with his 8 point. 8 minutes, 5 seconds remaining to be played as Kenny Smith crosses the timeline. Smith started right. Now Campbell forces him back to the left. Gives it up to Wolf on the wing. Comes down to Michael Jordan. Jordan looking to Perkins, can't get him the shot. Grant trying to physically challenge Perkins. Got the ball to him. Perkins for the dunk. Pulled the string on Grant, caught the ball, and then before Grant could recover, Perkins was free for the jam at his 18th point. 63 to 56, a 7-point Carolina lead. It's been as big as 15. Here's Campbell, top of the circle. Jump shot, 17. Jordan may have gotten a hand on it. Shot was short, rebounded by Perkins. Perkins coming front court now. Drops it off to Smith on the left side. 7.5 minutes to go in the ball game. 63 to 56. Here's Smith driving the lane from 15. Drops it away to Perkins on the left side. Back out front where he takes the pass now to reset the offense against Clemson's man-to-man. But Clemson trying to sag and clog the middle as well as it can. Jordan turnaround over Michael is good. 65 to 56. Michael Jordan with 15. 7:05 to play in the ball game. Mark Campbell will be picked up by Jordan about 10 feet at the defensive end of the floor. Campbell now moving to the left against Jordan. Picks up his dribble at the top of the circle to Grant on the right. Grant against Joe Wolf. Bounces inside to Campbell. He's got the bigger Sam Perkins on him and quite a size mismatch. To Jarman. Doherty on him. Jarman top of the circle now. Drops it away to Grant on the right side. Grant looking inside against Joe Wolf. Tried to give it to Michael. Lost Jarman. Knocked away. Still loose. Recovered Grant. Clemson still in control. Here's Campbell in the midcourt area. He'll reset the Tiger offense now, moving away to the left on his dribble. Switches away to the right hand. Drops it to Grant with 6.5 minutes to play. Grant bumps Wolf. No foul on the play. Gives it up now to Jarman. He'll drive baseline. Matt Doherty's there. Offensive foul, Murray Jarman. Jarman upset. It was obvious. Doherty had his defensive position a full second before Jarman got to him on his first personal foul. It'll be the third team foul against Clemson. 7th turnover for the Tigers, and an official timeout's been called in Greensboro. 6:26 to play in the ball game. Timeout on the floor, waiting to be played, and Carolina's got a 65-56 lead in the ball game. Tigers made a good run at it to get within 5, and now the Tar Heels have built it back up to 9, and the shooting percentages from Bob Woodruff shows us that Carolina has hit 9 of 16 here in the second half, while the Tigers have gone 8 of 10. That's 80%. Carolina shooting 56%. 6 minutes, 26 seconds remaining to be played as Carolina inbounds the ball from the baseline. Turnovers thus far, second half, Clemson 7, Carolina 6. Carolina controls the ball outside. Smith gets it away to Wolf, moving left of the circle, now drops it off to Hale. Comes back now to Smith at the right wing. Smith moving top of the circle to Wolf, to Hale, now to Doherty. Clemson in a man-to-man defense. Here's Jordan, partially blocked, knocked by Wolf into the Carolina bench. Smith can't save it. It's going to belong to Clemson. 6 minutes exactly remaining to be played in the basketball game, with the Tar Heels, who have never lost to the Tigers in ACC tournament play and overall have won 10 straight, controlling the basketball and the game at the moment, or rather controlling the game. Bounce pass away to McCamp, who's come in the game, lost it, stolen by Jordan to Smith. Now to Jordan coming in on the right. He'll drive all the way, feeds it away to Hale. Jump shot off the glass is no good. Deflected by Jarman, recovered Doherty for Carolina. The Tar Heels still in possession. Dean Smith says go back out front the midcourt area to Smith. He does. Smith penetrates the lane, dishes to Hale, left of the circle to Smith. Jump shot left corner, good. 67 to 56. The Carolina lead goes back to 11 on Kenny Smith's 8 points, 6 of which have come here in the second half. 5:20 left to play in the ball game. Jenkins now on the left side from Campbell. Carolina in the 1-3-1 zone to Campbell, now to Jarman left of the circle. Jarman looking inside, but nobody's home. Glenn McCants comes to the high post, but he goes instead back out front to Campbell, to Michael, back to Campbell. Now Campbell's dribble takes him top of the circle to McCants, to Michael, deep in the right corner. Cross court it comes to Jenkins, left of the circle. He'll jump, fire from there, 20 feet, no good. Smith with a rebound. Heels coming on the run. Long lead pass to Jordan. Caught it, just knocked it down, and then chased it down at the baseline. Comes to the right wing, gives it out in the midcourt area now to Smith. 67-56, 4:45 to play. Bounce pass back to Smith, penetrates, drives, contact, and a foul on Murray Jarman for the block. Jarman gets up. He doesn't agree with Tom Frame's call, but it's going to be personal number 2 on the Delray Beach, Florida senior, and it'll be the 4th team foul against Carolina, or against Clemson, rather, here in the second half.
Woody, I tell you what, right now, the timeout just a moment ago appears to have worked in Carolina's favor. Carolina has run 6 points on Clemson, and the Tigers, once again, appeared to be a little disorganized. They had it together for a few minutes, but Carolina jumps back out now with an 11-point lead and an opportunity if they can, or rather, right, 11-point lead if they can, then get some more points on the board here. Clemson could be in trouble for the duration. Hale to Wolf.
Comes now to Doherty. Doherty top of the circle. Clemson has dropped back into a 2-3 zone to Hale, and you heard the call by Matt Doherty. You heard him say 4-4 in his East Meadow, New York accent. The reason for that is not to do this, is not to delay the game at this point, but simply to bring Clemson out of the zone. And immediately Clemson came out of the zone. The whistle was Jordan's drive and a foul called against the Tigers. Lenny Wirtz, and it's going to be on Anthony Jenkins, and it will be his fourth with 4:23 remaining to be played in the ball game, and that's the fifth team foul against the Tigers. So Clemson will give the ball back to Carolina out of bounds on the foul by Jenkins. Smith from right in front of Media Row will make the inbound play. That's the west sideline. Goes to Jordan in the corner, back to Smith at the hash mark on the left. Carolina will spread it back out now. Clemson coming out in a man-to-man matchup. Here's Doherty on the drive all the way. Was going to try to dunk it, I believe. He had turned the ball over in his hands, but he's fouled by Horace Grant. Grant commits what will be his third personal foul, the sixth team foul, but in this case, Doherty fouled in the act of shooting. Henry is going to shoot two, and I believe he wanted to dunk it, don't you?
It looked as though he was cuffing it, as though he was going to try to jam it through, but, you know, Michael Jordan's comments about just watch Matt Doherty now must have been right. Maybe Michael's a prophet. He's had a great game here today, one of his better of the year. I think not only from the role standpoint that he normally plays, and he makes his first free throw, but also in scoring, Woody, but Bill Foster disagreed with that call. He thought it should have been a charge on Matt Doherty.
This is his season tie game, Henry, of 19 points right here. Make it 20 for Matt Doherty. Remember his career high, 28 a year ago, Clemson opening round of the tournament when the Tar Heels won big by 26 points. And right now, Carolina leading by 13. Pass to Jarman, layup glass, good. Jarman with 22 points. And there's a timeout call for the Tigers. It's the first official timeout used by Bill Foster. So with timeout on the floor, 4:02 remaining to be played, the Tar Heels, who have
Perkins 8 of 15 from the floor, Matt Doherty 8 of 12, Michael is 6 of 12, Kenny Smith 4 of 10, and Joe Wolf 2 of 4. For the game, Clemson's Michael is 1 of 6, Grant 4 of 5, Murray Jarman 11 of 17, a great game for Jarman, Hamilton 5 of 8.
It's Doherty on the attempted layup left side on a great pass from Jordan, but there is no basket, but a Clemson foul has been called on the play, and the foul is going to be against, I believe, Murray Jarman, and it will be number 3, all of which have come here in the second half on Jarman. The 7th team foul. Doherty will shoot anyway. Matt with 8 field goals thus far today on 12 attempts, and he's 4 of 5 at the free throw line. Make him now 5 of 6. He has 21 points in the ball game. Coming in, averaging 9 points a game, but he ranks 9th in the league in assists with 108. He's third in Carolina career with 430. Makes good on his next free throw. It's 71-58. The Heels, who had led by as many as 15 earlier in the half, now hold a 13-point advantage with 3:45 to play. Carolina in the 1-3-1 zone now. Grant, top of the circle against Smith, moving away to the right. Drops it to Hamilton. Gets it now to Michael. Michael from behind Jarman. They almost lost the ball between them, each reaching for it. Hamilton to Jarman to Michael at the left wing. Now to Campbell, top of the circle. Campbell now moving away to the right. Comes back now to Michael. Michael drops it to Jarman. Jump shot over Wolf is good. Murray Jarman with his season high of 24, and Clemson has quickly called its second timeout. So the Tigers have but one left. Timeout on the floor. 3:24 left to play in the ball game with the score: Carolina 71, Clemson 60.
Hunter Chevrolet's great Hendersonville truck sale is right now in progress. Hunter Chevrolet, Highway 25.
The ball game, and Carolina has a 71-60 lead. If the Tar Heels do go on to be victorious in this one, they would meet the Duke Georgia Tech winner tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 in the opening semifinal game. Carolina against the Clemson pressure now. Wolf inbounds the ball to Smith. Heels coming on the run. Smith gets by Michael. Now to Doherty at the right wing. Bounced it through a triple team. Back to Kenny Smith. 3:15 left. Clock running down. Heels spread out again to four corners. Initially, the Heels wanted to pull Clemson out of the zone. It did that very effectively. Now bounce pass from Smith back to Perkins, and now the Tar Heels have just got it spread out, trying to keep the ball away and use as much time as possible. Perkins from Doherty, caught in traffic, but got it to Smith in the midcourt area. Kenny actually standing in the center jump circle, 71-60. Joe Wolf out of Matt Doherty. Boy, I've been impressed today with the way that Joe Wolf has played against Clemson here, starting for the injured Matt Doherty. Bill Foster was giving the sign from his bench to foul, and now it is taken by the Tigers, and I believe it was Mark Campbell. Mark Campbell drawing the personal foul, and Henry, that'll be his first, and Carolina's in the 1-and-1 with Kenny Smith at the line.
Well, the Tar Heels have led this ball game by as much as 16 points. They now have an 11-point lead with a chance to increase it to 13, Woody, and fouling will be Clemson's last opportunity. Kenny Smith misses the front end of that 1-and-1, and that could be detrimental to Carolina if that continues to happen.
Well, it worked for a moment, but the Tar Heels aren't likely to miss many. They are second in the country, number 1 in the ACC in free throw shooting at 79%. Michael left of the circle. It won't go down. Jordan's got the rebound. Now, what Clemson has got to do is not only have Carolina miss free throws, but the Tigers have got to hit their shots, which they did not do right there. Smith bounces it away to Wolf at the left wing. Comes now back to Jordan. To Smith, standing in the center jump circle. He'll drive the lane, feeds away to Joe Wolf. Wolf with no notion of taking a shot. To Doherty at the clock, goes now to 2:10. 71-60 the score. To Jordan, now to Perkins. Grant tightens up on him. Perkins drives the baseline. Grant impeded his progress and draws a blocking foul. Grant will pick up personal number 4, and Sam Perkins will go to the line. Henry, there are a couple of things I'm sure of. One is death, the other is taxes. The third thing is Perkins at the line.
Well, Sam can hit him. Who do you foul on this team? We talked about this all year long. Maybe if you're in the situation that if Joe Wolf were to get his hands on the ball just because the lack of experience, the freshman factor, that whole thing, maybe Bill Foster would go for him, Woody. But I tell you, there's nobody on this team really that is a good choice to foul in this situation.
Perkins' free throw is good. Sam now with 19 points in the ball game. It is 72-60. Tom Frame will hand Sam Perkins the ball. You know, the rule says 10 seconds, but I've never, ever seen that called. Sam takes his time. He'll go right to the limit here. Arches it up. It's good. 72-60. He took a little more than 10 seconds in, but he was actually in the motion of it. 73-60. It's a 13-point lead. Top of the circle comes Jenkins for Clemson. Campbell, jump shot, left wing, no good. They battle for it inside. Grant on the follow, no good. Perkins is there with Jarman, lost out of bounds off Clemson, says John Clockerty, and it'll belong to the Tar Heels. Tigers don't agree, but since cutting the Carolina lead down to 5, not much has happened, I think, thus far in this ball game that Clemson has agreed with, except the fact that the Tar Heels are, again, pretty much the class of the league because of the way Carolina responded when Clemson had the lead down to 5. Zone pressure by the Tigers of 2-2-1. Jordan! Oh, my goodness, with a two-handed stuff. He took off from about 8 feet away, and that brought the Carolina supporters to their feet. And again, the awesome expression on the face of the other fans as Jordan now has 17 in the game at 75-60. Jarman, right baseline, bounces to Jenkins. He was too far underneath, knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to Clemson. Carolina's matched its biggest lead, Henry.
Well, I think this crowd of about 16,300 almost went to sleep, Woody, but Michael just hit him with a wake-up call. That was a beautiful dunk, and like you said, he left the floor at about 10 feet.
Jump shot by top of the circle for the Tigers by Vince Hamilton. And for Hamilton, that's his 6th shot out of 9 attempts, and I believe Clemson has just now used its last timeout. Yes, the Tigers have called timeout, so with timeout on the floor and 1:20 to play, the score, Carolina 75, Clemson 60. Network coverage of the Atlantic Coast Conference Tournament continues now from the Greensboro Coliseum with 1:20 left of this opening game, and it's for certain now, I think, that the Tar Heels with a 13-point lead at 75-62, if it has not been prior to this point, are going to be in the semifinals. Steve Hale's got 5 seconds, got it into Popson, tapped it right back to Hale. Hale dribbled between the double team. Now away to Kenny Smith, and the Tar Heels now with, and Smith is fouled by Campbell before we can pick things back up, and that foul on Mark Campbell will be his 2nd. Smith will go to the line. Henry, the Tar Heels have got a lineup in right now that is Steve Hale, Kenny Smith, Buzz Peterson, the junior from Asheville, Dave Popson, and Cecil Exum in the lineup. So Doherty, Jordan, and Perkins have left the game. Doherty with 22 points to his credit, Perkins with 20, and Jordan with 17. Free throw by Smith is no good, rebounded by Jarman on the left side. Smith is 0 for 2 from the line today at 75-62. Here's Campbell feeding back to Grant. Lost it, recovered. Smith trips him up. They both fall to the floor. The foul's going to be on Kenny Smith, his 2nd. It'll be the 4th team foul of the half against Carolina. So Clemson will not get a shot here. And it's going to be Clemson's ball out of bounds. It doesn't look like, unless things change drastically here in the final 62 seconds, that Clemson is going to go into the 1-and-1 situation before this game is over. Jenkins, jump shot over Hale from 20 feet on the left is no good. Rebounded by Exum for the Tar Heels. Between the double team, his pass deflected, but Smith caught it nevertheless. 75-62, pass deflected, intended for David Thompson. It's out of bounds. It'll still belong to Carolina.
Let's see if Clifton tries to foul Kenny Smith. Carolina's 8 of 10 from the free throw line in the second half, Woody, and the only gentleman to miss free throws is Kenny Smith in this half. So if he gets a ball in his hands, he may go
alley-oop
for
to
him.
Thompson. He caught it, tried to come down, couldn't put it in as he caught it. He tried to come down. The reason he couldn't do that is the fact, I believe, that Grant fouled him. Horace Grant, the guilty party, and that will be number 5 on the Sparta, Georgia freshman, at least according to my total. So Horace Grant has fouled out of the game after coming in to score 8 points, and he'll leave with 45 seconds left to play. So Grant's got to come out of the game, and they're taking their time about getting him out. Raymond Jones will replace it. For Horace Grant, this will be the 5th game he has fouled out of this year. Clemson's season's going to come to an end here today, at least this portion of it, Henry. Squared at 14 all, but I definitely think the Tigers deserve a spot in the NIT, and let's hope that they get there. Popson's free throw is up and good, his first point of the game, 76-72, and one part of history continues. The top-seeded team in the ACC tournament has always gotten at least to the semifinal round. Hobson's next free throw is good. It's 77-62. Timo getting ready to come into the lineup for Carolina with 40 seconds left. Campbell on the drive to Jenkins' left corner. Dishes inside to Jarman. Jarman up with a shot. It's good. There's a foul on David Thompson. Bucket will count by Jarman. It's his 26th point of the game. Thompson picks up his second personal foul, and Cliff Morris, the junior from Durham, and Makinen, the junior from Lady Finland, are in the lineup now as Hale comes out along with Joe Wolf. So Jarman is having his season's high game, and I believe his career high today with 26. He's got a chance to get 27. 77-64. Jarman came into the game averaging 14.5 points a game. He misses the free throw. Tapped out, however, to Campbell. Campbell in the lane, stripped to the ball by Popson. Off to Peterson. 3-on-1 break. Drops it away to Popson. Driving layup is no good. Morris taps it to keep it alive. Cliff Morris at the left wing, and he's fouled by Vince Hamilton. Hamilton has picked up his first personal. So Cliff Morris, the 6'3 junior from Durham, up for his first varsity season, Henry, after 2 years on the JV squad, will go to the free throw line, where he's been twice before this year. He is yet to make a free throw. 22 seconds remain. 77-64 is our score. We'll be going down into the media room right after this one's over. Also the Carolina dressing room. Morris misses the free throw. Cliff will have another one coming. 77-64 the score remains. 22 seconds remaining to be played. This one is up, and it's good also. Well, it's good. He missed the first one. 78-64. 20 seconds remain. Campbell across the timeline, right of the circle against Peterson. Carolina man-to-man to Jarman. Jump hook over Thompson is good. 28 points for Murray Jarman. 78-66. Pass to Exum from Thompson. Knocked away. Recovered Peterson. He bobbled it. Now saved it, and he double dribbled it. Saved it and put it back to the floor. That's a double dribble. Turns it over with 4 seconds remaining. 78-66. Carolina will move on into tomorrow's 1:30 semifinal game against the upcoming Duke Georgia Tech winner. Hamilton will inbound to Campbell. Gets it into him. The clock's at 3. Campbell from 25 feet. It's no good. There's the horn. Carolina has won its 11th straight against the Tigers. The 9th straight in Atlantic Coast Conference tournament play. Up by 15. Clemson got within 5, but the Heels wind up winning it by 12.
Coming up. Excuse me. You want just any kind of light beer? Well, when you buy a car, will any kind of car do? No. On Saturday night, will any kind of girl do? Well, in your case, it might. Hey, wait a minute. When it comes to light beer, you got a choice. Order.
The top-seeded North Carolina Tar Heels, as expected, taking the measure of the Clemson Tigers by 12 points, 78-66. Clemson made a little bit of a run midway through the second half, got some of the other schools' fans involved as the Heels' chances looked to be at least slightly in jeopardy. But North Carolina, behind their veteran players, Sam Perkins and Matt Doherty, rallied for that 12-point victory. And indeed, it is only appropriate that we talk to the two senior stars who paced the way for North Carolina here this afternoon. We have got Jeff Mullins down on the floor with Matt Doherty and Sam Perkins. So let's go down to Jeff right now.
I've got two very happy young men with me, Sam Perkins on my right, Matt Doherty on my left. Matt, a lot of people would have thought the #1 team in the country playing the last place team, Clemson, in the conference, it might have not been a difficult game, but it certainly was today.
Oh, yeah. Clemson's been playing fine ball all year. They just haven't had the breaks. A team that goes into Duke at Durham and win is a tough team, and they gave us a hard time down at Clemson, so we knew we were expecting a tough game, and it's tough to beat any team 3 times in 1 year.
Sam, your rebounding mate, Brad Doherty, inside, wasn't there today. Did Coach Smith talk to you? You had 10 rebounds in the first half. I haven't seen the final stats. Did you know you had to work harder on the boards today?
Well, I knew I had to work much harder because Brad is an effect in this ball club as far as rebounding. He does a lot for us. He goes unnoticed, and what we had to do is get aggressive on the boards today.
Matt, you had your one of your finest games today, and another fellow on the floor for Clemson, Murray Jarman, bowed out in fine fashion.
Oh, yeah, Murray's a great athlete. I wish I had some of his jumping ability. He can really get up, and he's a strong player and got that jump hook down pat, and he gets the ball inside. It's tough to stop that hook.
Matt, you guys have an advantage, North Carolina that is, that I think few teams have, and that is that you and Sam and Michael have been in many, many tournament games. What do you try and impart to the other guys on the team? Do you tell them what it's like before the game?
Not necessarily explicitly, but you just kind of, in your relaxed way, they look up to you and they see how you react and act in this situation, and they kind of follow the lead. You don't really say, well, act relaxed and just play it easy. You just kind of go out there and relax yourself, and they see how you're relaxed, and they go out and play, hopefully, a good ball game.
Well, congratulations today to you, Matt.